Good morning, children. Hope you all are fine. In today's class, let us see about root hair and its function. Root is a very important part of a plant. What is its function? It absorbs water. Normally, when we feel thirsty, we drink water, isn't it? But plant doesn't drink water. Instead, it absorbs water with the help of root. Not only water, along with the water, nutrients, minerals are absorbed by the root. The root plays a very important role in a plant. Okay, the root tip has got minute root hairs present in it. So we are going to see today what is a function of root hair, and after observing the water, what happens to the water, how does it moves to the other parts of the plant. That's what we are going to see today. See, the minute openings or hair present in the lower part of the root is what we say it as root hair. There are millions of root hairs on the tip of the root which absorbs water and minerals by the means of diffusion. The word diffusion is not new to you. In the previous class I taught for you. Do you remember? So this root hair absorbs the water and nutrients from the soil. This picture denotes that. Okay. See, the diffusion, the word diffusion is very important for the root to absorb water. So the movement of molecules in liquid or in a solid form from the higher concentration to the region of lower concentration without using the energy is what we say it as diffusion. I repeat, the movement of molecules in liquid or in solid form from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration without using energy is diffusion. Very important 2-mark question. These root hairs absorb the water only in a form of diffusion methodology. Okay, the water as well as minerals are more concentrated in the soil, and it's less concentrated in the plant. So from the higher concentrated area, the water is going on absorbed with the help of root hairs to the inner part of the plant. What methodology? Diffusion. And these root hairs are thin walled, and these root hairs are made up of epidermis or epidermal cells. So when water enter into the root hair, the concentration of the water in the root hair cells become more and more through the cortex, and finally it reaches the xylem. So the root hair absorbs the water and it is passed through the cortex, and finally it reaches the xylem. That brown color line denotes that. So through the cortex area the water moves and finally it is reaching to the xylem. And of course xylem's duty is what? Duty is to supply water to the plant. All over the plant receives water with the help of xylem vessels. Of course, in vascular bundle, 2 kinds of cells are present, that is xylem, not cells, tissue. Group of cells make up a tissue. 2 kinds of tissues are available in a vascular bundle, that is xylem and phloem. Xylem's duty is to conduct water and phloem's duty is to conduct the food. This is what you have already known. So the root hair cells conducts water through the cortex cells, and finally it reaches the xylem vessel, and the xylem vessel carries the water throughout the plant stem as well as leaves, or getting the water with the help of the xylem vessels. Okay, next let us see the types of movement of water in the root cells. There are two types of water movement. One is apoplast pathway and the other is symplast pathway. Usually, water absorbed by the root is taken to the inner layer of the root in two ways. What are they? Apoplast pathway and symplast pathway. So the green color light denote the apoplast pathway movement. Actually, the water is moving to the inner areas of the plant, isn't it? I told you already, the root hairs are absorbing the water and passing it inwards. And how does it move? Two ways. Apoplast movement of water is taking place through intercellular spaces and the walls of the cells. They don't cross the cell membrane. Okay, but in symplast movement, water movement is through their cytoplasm, and intercellular movement is through the plasmodesmata. Can you notice? See, the pink color line denote the apoplast pathway. It is passing through the cell. But symplast pathway is passing through the cytoplasm. Can you understand the difference between this apoplast and symplast pathway? So the two types of pathways are important to be known. So remember, the apoplastic movement does not involve crossing the cell membrane, but symplast pathway passes through the cell membrane. So the symplast pathway movement, that is water movement in the symplast pathway, is slower while comparing to apoplast pathway. Here the water movement occurs exclusively through the intercellular spaces as well as the walls of the cells. So without disturbance, it moves quicker while comparing to symplast pathway. Okay, next we have to know about transpiration. In previous class, I taught you about the transpiration. Of course, you know well. Even then, I'll just remind you. Transpiration is the evaporation of water in the plants through stomata in the leaves. Okay, the excess water from the plant is released out, especially from the leaf part. Leaf part has got stomata. The leaf part of the plant has got stomata. Okay, the openings of the plant, it's widely present in the leaf. Lower part of the leaf contains more stomata which can open and close. Stomata are open in the daytime and closed at the night time. So actually this stomata is opening and closing. How does it happen? The stomata opens and closes due to the change in turgidity of the guard cells. So the guard cells are protecting the stomata, isn't it? So this guard cells can close as well as open due to the presence of water. When water enters into the guard cells, they become turgid. Excess of water will be there so that the stoma open. When it is losing water, it's completely flaccid and stoma closes. So when does this transpiration occur? Vast, when guard cells are open. When stoma is open, transpiration occurs. Okay, the water is lost from the plant. As water is lost from the leaves, pressure is created at the top of the plant. Okay, so the pressure is created. This pressure can pull more water from the xylem vessels. So this process is called as transpiration pull. Okay, the transpiration pull is very important 2 mark question. So transpiration pull, I repeat that, as water is lost from the leaves, how is it getting lost? With the help of stoma, transpiration. So this process only we say it is transpiration. The water is getting lost. Due to the loss of water, pressure is created at top to pull more and more water from the xylem vessel. So it absorbs the water continuously from the lower part of the plant root from there to the upper part of the plant. The water is continuously raising up only due to the pressure created at the top of the plant. So this is what we say it as transpiration pull. So this transpiration may be affected. This transpiration may be affected by several factors. It may be a temperature or light or humidity or more amount of wind. So these are all some reasons which may affect the transpiration rate. But transpiration will occur in all the plants. So is this transpiration important? Is the transpiration important? Yes, of course. It's very important for the plant. This transpiration supplies water to the plant for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is what? The preparation of food by the plant. So the plant prepares what kind of food? Glucose or starch. Okay, in the previous classes we have seen about the photosynthesis. The preparation of food by the plant is photosynthesis. And for the purpose of photosynthesis, transpiration is very important. And the transpiration pool is created in the plant, isn't it? That transpiration pool only transport water to the plant. Only then the photosynthesis can happen in the plant. Okay, the transports and also it transport mineral from soil to all parts of the plant. So the root hairs are not only absorbing the water, it is also absorbing the minerals. Minerals are stored up in the soil in a form of ions. That ions are also absorbed and getting transported in the plant. So due to the transpiration, the area around the plant is cool. Also, this transpiration keeps the cells turgid. So because of this turgidity only, the plant shape is maintained. So the transpiration is very important for plants. So the importance of transpiration is very important question. So you have to learn it. Next, let us see about the root pressure. How this root pressure is happening, why is it happening? That is, already I told you, the minerals are stored up in the soil in a form of ions. So these ions are carried or absorbed by the root. From the soil, ions are absorbed by the plant and that is transported to all over part of the plant with the help of vascular tissues. Xylem as well as phloem are coming under this vascular tissue. So xylem tissue as well as phloem tissue helps in the transportation. So water moves along the plant, and not only water, ion as well as water are moving along the plant with the help of vascular bundle or vascular tissues, and that is increasing the pressure inside the xylem. This pressure is called root pressure. So this root pressure only responsible for pushing water to the plant. That is, the water is getting raised in the stem area, isn't it? So this is happening with the help of xylem. That is root pressure which is taking place in the xylem. Okay, the plant is taking the mineral from the soil. The plant is depending on the mineral. It require mineral from the soil. Why? All kind of nutritional requirements are fulfilled with the help of the ions or minerals present in the soil. Okay, so these minerals are nothing but they are charged particles. They are charged particles. Minerals are present where? In the soil in a form of ions. That's why I'm telling you charged particles. Okay, and they cannot easily move across the cell membrane. Okay, so for that purpose only this root pressure is helping, that the concentration of the minerals in the soil is usually lower while comparing to the concentration of minerals present in the root. So how does it move? How does this mineral transport take place? Means the most of the minerals enter the root by active absorption. It is happening with the help of the epidermal cells, the cytoplasm of epidermal cells. So it needs a kinds of energy. It needs one kind of energy. That energy is in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. The energy is in the form of ATP. So with the help of this energy only, minerals are transported to the plant. So transpiration pull helps in the transportation of water as well as minerals, and also root pressure also helps in the transportation of water and minerals to the plant. So phloem transport, what is phloem transport? And it is also coming under this vascular bundle. So what is the main function of the phloem? Phloem supports or conducts food what is prepared by the plant. The plant prepares the food in a form of starch or glucose. So the food which is prepared by the plant is taken all over to the plant, all over parts of the plant only with the help of phloem tissue. As xylem conducts water, phloem conducts food. Okay, xylem, one thing to be remembered, xylem unidirectional, taking water from the lower part of the plant, from the root to the upper part of the plant. But phloem undergoes two types of movement, bidirectional and also unidirectional. Bidirectional and also unidirectional, that is moving upwards as well as downwards. Okay, so this direction of the movement of the molecules through the phloem can also be in upward direction or in the lower direction. That's why it is said to be bidirectional. But in xylem, the movement is always unidirectional, but phloem bidirectional. Two pathway movements are happening. Two types of movements are happening. Both upward and downward movement are taking place in the phloem. But xylem, unidirectional. And next term, what you have to know is translocation. Translocation, as I told you, transpiration, don't confuse with the transpiration and also translocation. Transpiration is what? Loss of excess water from the plant. It is happening in the leaf part. Widely it is happening, vastly it is happening in the leaf part of the plant with the help of stoma. And translocation is what? Translocation is different from transpiration. Okay, storage or storage of food in a certain area. Okay, that's what we say it as translocation. Carrying the food or minerals and storing it in certain area. That's what we say it as translocation. Certain areas of the plant are highly nutritious. For example, fruit contain more nutrient. Isn't it? How does it happen? That is translocation. The food what is prepared is located in certain area where it is highly nutritious. Okay, this is happening with the help of pressure flow. So the glucose is prepared at a certain source. Which source? In a leaf part of the plant is preparing food, isn't it? By the process of photosynthesis. That food is converted into sucrose. And it is moving through the companion cells which is present in the plant, and then it is passed to the phloem seed tubes with the help of active transport. Okay, this is the this is happening in the phloem tissues, and then the phloem carries the prepared food to the certain areas and located there, that is translocation. Okay, um, then next, ascent of sap. Next term what you should know is ascent of sap. Ascent of sap is what? The water is moving upward in a plant from the root to the upper part of the plant, isn't it? I told you already. The upward movement of the water as well as minerals from the roots to different part of the plant is called as ascent of sap. Very important 2 mark question. What is ascent of sap? The movement of water as well as minerals from root to different parts of the plant is called as ascent of sap. Okay, and for this purpose of ascent of sap, some factors are required. They are root pressure, capillary action, and adhesion and cohesion of water molecules. What are they? Root pressure, capillary action, and adhesion and cohesion of water molecules. What is the root pressure? That is, already I told you about the root pressure. That is movement of water up of the plant from the base part is happening with the help of root pressure. So this root pressure is responsible for the movement of water from lower part of the plant to the upper part of the plant. How the water from the soil enters the root hair with the help of osmosis. Okay, so the root pressure is very important for the movement of water from lower part to the upper part. Next, capillary action. So it is a kind of physical force. The water or any liquid or rising up in a capillary tube. How? With the help of the physical force. This is called as capillary action. How the stem water is rising up from the root part, isn't it? It is reaching to a certain height. How is it happening? With the help of capillary action. And next factor, adhesion and cohesion of water molecules. Okay, adhesion and cohesion, these terms you should know. The force of attraction between the molecules of water is called cohesion. So the water is there. So there is a force of attraction between the water molecules. This is called as cohesion. So this cohesion is required for the ascent of sap, for the movement of water molecules upward in the plant. Likewise, adhesion. Adhesion is what? The force of attraction between the molecules of different substances. So the water is sticking to the xylem. Xylem is a kind of tissue, isn't it? And water. So the water is sticking to the xylem. A kind of force is created which helps in the ascent of sap. So that is what? Adhesion. So the force of attraction between the molecules of different substances, adhesion. Within the water molecules itself, if there is a force of attraction, means that is called as cohesion. So this both the cohesion and adhesion are responsible for the ascent of sap. So it is important to be known. Ascent of sap is what? The movement of water molecule, water as well as minerals from root to different part of the plant. This is very important for the plant, for the water as well as mineral absorption. This is called as ascent of sap. So what are the factors playing a role in ascent of sap? Means root pressure, capillary action, and adhesion and cohesion of water molecules. Okay, so today we have seen about the kind of movement water as well as ions are moving in a plant with the help of root. Root hair is involved in the absorption of water. So this movement of water is happening in two ways, two pathways, that is apoplastic pathway as well as symplast pathway. And then we have seen about the root pressure as well as transpiration pull and what is transpiration and importance of transpiration. So listen to this video and go through your textbook. If you get any doubt, you can ring up to me and ask. Thank you, children.